I know it's been a couple weeks since my last upload, and I do apologize, but I needed the break to get caught up on some college work. It also gave me the chance to reflect upon the content I've been creating up until now. As many already know, my main focus during the last half of 2021 was on Aquatope, so my content was somewhat limited and didn't give me much of a chance to think about other types of videos. This short break has helped me realize that. But before I get started, if you're enjoying the content on the channel and you're part of the 80% of people not subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribing is the best way to support me while ensuring you catch all of my uploads. So what are you waiting for? Okay, so today I'm going to start a Citrus-specific mini-series, partially because I really liked the anime and partially because this is something I've wanted to make a video on for a while now. This week, why Citrus is the poster child of a Yuri anime. First off, what is a Yuri anime? You might occasionally see Yuri as girl love or GL, but to put it simply, it's an anime that focuses on romantic feelings or activities between two female characters, the main character normally being one of them. These are much less common than other genres, such as the isekai and slice of life genres, the isekai of which is heavily overdone. Yuri anime kind of fall into that category of taboo for some just because it's about two female characters' feelings towards each other. And Citrus is the poster child of Yuri anime for several reasons. This anime was dolled up with incredible animation, fiery scenes, and a window into the mind of adolescents. Not only that, Citrus focuses on a girl named Shoujou-Ai, and her personality is both exceptionally kawaii and very spontaneous. Yeah, that's like a perfect recipe for disaster, and I love it. But Yuzu isn't the only thing that makes Citrus stand out when it comes to the Yuri genre, and similar anime like Bloom Into You and, dear god, Kiss Sis. Citrus is also about taking a stand for your feelings, regardless of who it is you love. While the first episodes of the anime play it off as an experimental period, it's really about more than that. You don't suddenly wake up one day and decide, I think I'll experiment a little bit. No. Citrus hones in on the fact that those feelings have always been there, but it also nods towards the fact that it's not just about two girls kissing each other. That's what Kiss Sis did, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. God, that really sucked. Yuri anime are similar to yaoi anime, aka boys love, where they differ isn't just in gender, but in actual mannerisms on how the story evolves. A Yuri normally engages its audience with something sweet, almost like a drip of caramel syrup, but that caramel syrup gets put on everything. Yuri anime tend to be this sticky, sweet love story. A yaoi anime uses that same caramel syrup, but instead of spreading it over a wide variety of food, it's only spread across one or two other items. Citrus is that sticky, sugary, sweet, chaotic story, not necessarily about trying new things, but about being real with yourself and accepting your feelings. Yuzu has every right to feel confused and uncertain because of the way she was raised. And this goes for most everyone else as well. Taught that there can't be a relationship between two girls or two boys because that's quote-unquote wrong. Think about the caramel syrup again. Think about how hard you try to keep your hands and fingers from getting sticky, but they wind up sticky anyways. You can't avoid the mess, just as Yuzu can't avoid the way she feels. Similarly, Citrus is highly feminine. The makeup, the clothes, obsession with appearance, etc. It presents every typical femininely social trait and amplifies it tenfold. This makes it highly attractive to certain viewing audiences, not only due to its ability to play around with emotions, but also its ability to drag out a romantic interest for long periods of time. New volumes of the manga are still being released as well, so imagine just how invested the anime could be if it continued to adapt its source material. My next point brings me to colors. Hear me out on this one. The human eye is naturally attracted to things with vibrant color and aesthetic. Think about a YouTube thumbnail. If this were all black and white or desaturated, would you have clicked on the video? What about clothes? You wouldn't wear an entirely gray outfit. The same premise applies to Citrus. Its colors are another reason why it's the poster child for Yuri anime. It is an incredibly beautiful anime, color-wise. The use of color as a principle of design is, simply stated, very emotional, in regard to Citrus. color can be used for more than just a pretty picture though. Think about how the color blue represents sadness or depression, whereas red can indicate passion and love. Citrus implements its color usage in a unique way. Well-blended colors keep the eye focused on what's important, and that's Yuzu and Mei, or Yuzu and her friend Harumi. Another principle of design is line. Lines are soft and smooth in this anime, not jarring and harsh like a lot of shonen anime, even some shows like Fairy Tail. Citrus is literally the perfect poster child for Yuri anime, both metaphorically and literally. The emphasis on Yuzu's character design alone is enough to wow viewers. There are a lot of people who like to argue Bloom Into You is a better Yuri, and that's their opinion, but it fails to compete with the throne Citrus has made for itself. Citrus is perfectly balanced in color, and there is a clear visual hierarchy, the organization of elements within a design. A video on Citrus vs. Bloom Into You will come later this month or next. Finally, the growing bond between Yuzu and Mei is what attracts a lot of viewers to the anime, but also plasters Yuri across the entirety of it. Mind you, it's not subtle either. There are times the anime can get a little heated, but that level of excitement and the way something like that makes your heart race is amazing. In episode 1 alone, Yuzu already has a move made on her, which comes out of left field entirely and, well, just see for yourself. Citrus is also infamous for its curveballs early on in the story. The only way for me to put this is Yuzu and Mei are stepsisters. They aren't related by blood and don't have the same biological mother or father, but like I said, this is still a massive curveball and leaves a lot of fans wondering how exactly something like that would play out. What happens if they get caught? We already see the consequences of emboldened approaches when Yuzu and Mei get a little intimate while Mei's at her grandfather's. They're passionate though, which made for several moments of mixed emotions during my initial watch of the anime years ago and rewatch recently. Citrus has this sort of emotional draw to it that you can't get anywhere else because Citrus is so unique and its pull is so strong. Regardless of how someone might feel about the whole thing, there's no denying that fact. Citrus is, and will stay, the poster child for Yuri anime, at least until something else comes along to dethrone it, which, let's be honest, it's hard to top something like this. The anime concluded before it really got good, but there's a pretty strong fandom for it across social media and anime fans themselves. It's never too late for a season 2, and there is plenty of material left to adapt. If the anime made you hot under the collar with its 12-episode run, imagine what it could do if it were to be fully adapted or receive new seasons every couple of years. Of course, the anime being in my top 10, I'm a little biased, but I think if you decided to watch the anime for yourself, you'd find everything I've mentioned up to this point pretty valid, but hey. This was a fun video to record and will be even more interesting to edit. But I'm going to close things out here. Remember, if you want to support what I'm doing, check out my Patreon in the description. Leaving a like and subscribing are always the best ways to show your support though, and they're free. More Citrus next week, and I will catch you all later. P.S. Summer is quickly approaching, which means more videos in the week and more fun content you won't want to miss. Okay, cue the outro.